So what do you want? What do you really know
What
then?
exactly do you want to talk about?
So
I'm just saying.
he's gonna ask questions,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah,
and I'm gonna make sure that he don't ask you no funny questions. Whatever. I'll jump in and go, yeah, but the truth of the matter is, bro, I think it's gonna flow like wine, man. You get me? I don't think it's not. No one's gonna go, yo. So what? Do you really think? Oh, don't get me speaking to someone. Content over everything. Come along and start jumping in and say funny stuff, right? But what we're trying to find solutions for black people, right? And we think technology might be that.
Yeah.
That might be the
It
tick.
is. It's the only way.
See, bro, the fact you said that shows you know what you're talking
the
about.
only way.
So you're already advanced. The fact you said that.
Are
wanna
we
check
gonna
the
get
Zoom.
out of this mess we're in, yeah? This 400, 500-year-old mess by dancing our way out of it,
Nah.
acting our way out of
Nah.
it, playing sports about it? Nah, it's not gonna happen.
Well, we're in advance, bro. So what should I know? What do you know next? What do you want to be
Ain't
known?
even got too radical.
Too radical.
For me,
right?
that. Too radical.
Too radical. Right.
So you said you're coming on camera, yeah?
Too radical, brother.
Too
Too
radical,
radical.
man.
Too radical.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I might need to zoom out or something.
Go, yeah. Oh, you can actually see it. You can see us.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I might have to zoom out a bit.
Go on.
But it's a bit tight, isn't it? Especially if you're going to get
But you could actually talk about this thing here, couldn't you? I mean, bruv, is this your thing, bruv?
Yeah,
Do you-
it's together.
So, bruv, that means you've actually took the time, effort to make this beautiful thing here.
Yeah, I had to.
And I'm sure you can talk about that now. I'm sure. I'm sure. Did you design it yourself? Did you put the?
Yeah, it was just a quick thing.
Photoshop-
It didn't need any.
Oh yeah, so it's the guy. We'll have a conversation. We'll have a
Come
conversation.
lately, man.
recording it all.
I know. I put it on.
recorded just now.
We'll have a conversation. We're just situating it. But is it? Are we playing good though? You have to see
Come
that
on, yeah,
outside.
do your cinematography, bro. Yeah. You good? Yeah, bro. So we're here with Too Radical, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
family.
New to the park. And the brothers has this amazing thing here, which he's going to explain, and we're going to jump in to make sure he's not on his jokes.
Can I just say though, yeah? Cause just as an introduction, yeah. Like we're talking about now. It's a different conversation we're gonna have in it, and we're talking about technology, yeah, in service of our own community. You know what I'm saying? So we're going beyond a lot of the debates that we're having at the moment. We want to talk about science and technology and how we can utilize, yeah, our environment and develop programs, yeah, to enact and be able to use science and technology to the benefit of our own community.
Our
So,
tech.
Our tech.
Yeah, our tech.
So go on, what you say? What you
Too
say?
Radical. Tell us what this is about. Go on.
Alright, well, I pretty much put this together, innit? After watching Speaker's Corner for a year and just seeing all of the madness and all of the religious talk and just, that kind of conversation wasn't for me, and I wanted to raise some important issues that I don't see being talked about enough. Now, obviously everyone knows what's going on in South Africa.
Yeah.
I wanted to be talking about that on a daily, innit? Because it affects us even though that people don't see that it affects us. Obviously, you've got some controversial stuff here talking about, agents and agent behavior, and I wanted to just make sure that from now on, people are understanding that, look, Speaker's Corner, man, this thing is being run by agents.
Yeah.
It's the way that I see it, innit? The other thing is all of the agencies here that I never ever see people talking about. And I don't get it, like, it's just a religious talk thing, like, every week in and out at Speaker's Corner, when if you really knew how the game was being played, you'd understand that a lot of these agencies are affecting our daily lives. Like, but no one has seemed to, crack heads together and see that that's what's going on. Going down here, hashtag military science. This is what black men need to really get on. Like, how are they, being puppets? And how is that affecting us? And how is that affecting the black diaspora? So all of these issues, in time, we're going to see more people talking about it, because I'm going to be here pretty much every week with the banner, making sure that people don't ignore it.
And brother, did you actually put this together?
Yeah, but it was a quick thing, innit? Like,
This man.
it was a quick thing, innit?
Yeah,
I didn't spend too much time on it.
So what we're going to talk about here also is technical skills to actually do things like this, right? So obviously, one thing I've always tried to push out is I'm trying to get the family together who have technical skills so we can actually build solutions for the collective, right? So technical skills, things like 3D modeling and stuff. Like you said yourself that you're kind of understanding.
At the high end, 3D modeling, and then below that, graphic design, and then
animation
sound,
and kind of things.
sound engineering, music creation.
Is there any softwares you can mention that if people wanted to actually start like develop their skills, what softwares you would recommend? Is there any that you would we recommend?
How far do you want to go? Do you want to be like the world's best animator? Then if that's the
Yeah,
case,
so I'm a young kid. Yeah, my name's Abu, right? what do I have to study? What do I need to do? What softwares? What do I have to go out there and try to find?
well, the best software out there you can get stuck in to is pretty much Houdini or Maya, that kind of end. 3D Max
Right.
is kind of geared towards the gaming side of things. Maya and Houdini is kind of geared towards the film side of things.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just getting stuck into it, there are smaller programs out there like Cinema 4D,
Okay, yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
Sketch 3D, I think that's what it's called now. It wasn't called that back in the day. What else? That's the animation side of things. If you're looking to actually 3D model things that you can use, prototypes, cars, buildings, bridges, that kind of stuff, then you want to get involved in CAD, computer-aided design, and that's the type of programs for that is Rhino or AutoCAD or SolidWorks. What else is out there? Katia or Katia, as they call it.
So how long have you been in this kind of world, with the 3D modeling world?
The 3D side of it since 2006. Yeah.
Quite some time, bro.
Yeah. But on and off, not too seriously. Obviously, you start off like, lower than that, and I start off with graphics.
Yeah. What, you mean like graphic design?
Yeah, but Windows XP Paint. You get me?
That's why I started. That's why I started.
I started with Photoshop first.
Went straight to the mark. Yeah.
Everyone starts there.
Yeah. Okay. So how long would you say, if like Abu, whatever, how long would it take for him to start seeing some kind of presentable results from the time?
You got to go hard at it, basically. Yeah,
Right.
you can't be sloppy with it. But literally, when I first looked at the first major 3D animation app, I downloaded it and I was like, nah, this is too complex, because it had like 50 different sort of like buttons on it. I couldn't make heads or tail of it. So then I went back to Sketch, practiced on that, and I was like, now I'm ready for it. I went to it, solid for a week. And then after that first week, I was like, okay, I got the hang of things. And then after a month, I felt like I conquered it. Now, by that, when I say conquered it, you didn't fully conquer it. It would take you about 5 years to become like amazing at it. Yeah, but after a month, if I wanted to model, let's say like a car, and it looked like the car I wanted, or a human, it would look like it. So at the start, you might be, losing hope with it and thinking, nah, I can't do this, but just stick with it. And after a week, you'll see results. After a month, you'll see major results.
So with this software, like, is there any examples out there in the market where a product is made, whether it's a game or a cartoon, where it's like, if you study this software, you could make a product looking like this? Is there like, is it like, so for example, I don't know, like, you watch certain cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Which is 3D modeling, right? So that could be achieved through Abu, maybe not on that level, obviously not, but on a lesser version, or am I wrong? Because I use Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty much, I can do anything.
Yeah.
I use After Effects, I can pretty much do anything, right? Premiere, same. Yeah. So would you say that the software you've mentioned, the same? If Abu takes this up in the future, in the summertime, he can be doing this high quality kind of professional work.
Out of all the software names that I've mentioned, they're pretty much all at the same level. Right. Now, there are a bit of differences between them,
right.
But pretty much the best ones out there are Maya, Houdini, 3D Max, Cinema 4D.
Yeah, Cinema 4D.
Those are pretty much all on the same level, with Maya being right at the top.
Let me ask you both of your question now, because in terms of just using the technology and digital solutions, pertaining to our own community, like we got to place this thing, because people are hearing about 3D printing, but they might think it's way beyond the minute,
Nah.
Like can we place like the importance of graphic design or animation, 3D printing in terms of its practical usage in the world today? Why are those disciplines important to the world today? And so why is it important for black people to be able to use it to support our own communities?
Well, 3D printers, for example, Africano, which we're not ready to launch yet, but we will be in the future launching our own 3D printer geared towards the African diaspora.
Yes.
Now, the benefits of 3D printers is that, for example, if you had the right 3D printer that you designed, you could be building houses with it. Right. Now, it's not every country that needs a house 3D printing builder, but certain places in the world would greatly benefit from updated, modernized houses, take places in Africa, for example. So there's lots of benefits to it. Now, between injection molding and 3D printing or CNC machining. This is pretty much how most things in the world today are being made, like whether it's a bicycle frame, the frames behind us, or cars or bridges, do you know what I mean? Like they're all being made pretty much from CAD design. Yeah, so I mean there are not enough, CAD inventors out there, CAD designers, people like that are owning mills and steel mills, for example, and know how to take the raw steel and turn it into something that we can use. That's all being run and owned by white people, unfortunately. Now, if we had our hands on that, for example, some of the factories that it would need to take raw material that is in Africa, and then we could take that raw material and then sell it. But this is pretty much what's happening in Africa now. The robbing and pillaging for our raw material. They take it to their own countries, they reproduce it, and then they sell it to where it needs to be sold, and we're not making any money on that, basically.
So I get what you're saying, like having the knowledge for yourself. And to answer your question, so I think you could break down, say, let's go the software route, right? So let's break down what softwares are. So Photoshop, this man, professional Photoshop man here.
I'm up there, you know what I mean?
There you go.
I know what I'm doing.
So with Photoshop, Photoshop is a graphical tool which you can make still imagery, right? So that could be anything from making websites, the front end, that could be making posters. So you got to think, if you got a shop, you want to make the banner or the logo, you can use Photoshop. Another one that's similar is a software called Illustrator. So Illustrator is used for like logos. There's a difference between vector and bitmap, right? If you want to specialize in vectors, which is basically a mathematical language that allows your designs to scale and never lose quality, right? You use the software Illustrator, and that's better for logos and these kind of things. Photography, if you're taking pictures, you can like artwork them and brush them with Photoshop. Pixels, right? There you go, bitmap imagery, right? So that's Photoshop. So if you wanted to like make a film or make a documentary, the software you might want to use is Final Cut Pro or Premiere. If you want to have special effects within there, there's a software called After Effects, which can also be used for 2D animation, right? Cartoons and so forth. There's another software that used to be called Flash, which is now called Animate, and that's video game, like vector-based video games and stuff. So if you want to make video games and you want it on a budget, that might be one to do. Like the independent game scene, like they're making a lot of money now.
True that. I've heard that.
So these are different angles trying to get into gaming, back-end development. I mean, you have to get developers to talk about like PHP and HTML5 and this kind of stuff there. But I know there's Dreamweaver that you can use to interface with that. I mean, there's prototyping. If you want to make an app, there's software out there that you can use to actually like do the front end, like prototyping. Sketches one, UX, Adobe UX or DX, of course. But these are the software.
This is the importance of it for me, because I teach young people in terms of English language and communication, performing arts, and cultural science, And in terms of cultural science, one of the things that I try to teach in terms of technology is the power dynamics involved in technological advancement, so to speak, And it's the fact that black people we're highly represented in consumerism, but very underrepresented in production, manufacturing, and retail, and these kinds of things, and that. So it's like we are overrepresented. There's a phenomenon called Black Twitter, that it's not a Twitter that is owned by black people. It's just talking about black people's presence on this social media platform that is owned by this rich white American guy. You know what I'm saying? So behind the scenes, they create these platforms and we use them. But we're not represented in the creation of these dynamics, you see what I'm saying? Why? Because we're not mastering the science and the technology behind them. That's the first thing. And as we were discussing off camera, those of us who are mastering it are not necessarily mastering it with a collective, like, pro-black mentality that speaks to using it towards their own communities. Or more to the point, we don't have the institution, we haven't built the institutions that will make that a reality yet. You know what I'm saying? That's what I try to teach them. So instead of just playing games, learn how to make them. You know what I'm saying? Like what you were just saying, There's software now, just like it's easier to make music, it's easier to make games.
Yeah.
It's easier to make films.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm saying. And so we got it's about us being able to inspire our people, especially our young people, to broaden the scope. Because I love music. I make music. In fact, I started making music the other day, yeah, after 14 years of just not making music, just writing, yeah, lyrics and the kind of things there. And I felt like I got an arm back, yeah, because I know that I love that's something that I love to do. But one of the reasons why I ain't done it for so long is because I've been teaching young people.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. So it's like, but in making music now, I don't just want to make the music. I don't just want to be in front of the camera. I want to be behind it as well. This is what I'm saying. And be able to create institutions whereby other young people can come and use their technological experience and do it in a way that it serves, that they're creating images that empower other people that look like us. You know what I'm saying?
So I think what I would say is, you know, there's many brothers and sisters out there who's got children, right?
Yeah.
And I guess we could give them the information of where to try to influence their children, right?
Yeah,
So you mentioned softwares, you mentioned like, you know, how these can benefit.
Yeah.
But there's even like, have you heard of a Raspberry Pi?
No.
Yeah.
You heard about- so,
I know
okay.
about it, yeah.
So Raspberry Pi are these very small motherboards, right?
Okay.
And they're cheap, like £30. I bought a couple for my nephews, right?
Sorry, for anybody that might know, what's a motherboard?
Okay, a motherboard, but you know, so basically, if you got a phone or you got a PC, it's all the stuff is connected to a motherboard that connects to the RAM, the processor. So it's basically, I mean, it's the green thing. Right? It's hard to.
The motherboard. So it's like where all the
Everything's like,
it's
the
like
body.
it's like the hardware,
It's like the hardware.
right?
Yeah.
That basically programs.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's the hardware, and then it's the hardware that is inside the physical device.
Yeah.
To which you place software within them. Right?
So it's like the skeletal system.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah?
it's the main infrastructure of which
Of
all
what?
other components connect to.
There
Right.
you go. The
Motherboard.
motherboard. There
Okay,
you go,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
So with these, they've made a small. It's an English company, for enough.
Yeah.
And it's like £30. And
Right.
what children are doing is they're taking these small motherboards
Yeah.
and they're making like boats. They're making airplanes, or they're making little video games. And because it's
Drones.
because it's cheap, they can experiment and make mistakes because it's £30.
Right.
Like a motherboard might cost you like 200, 250
Right.
to grand. Right?
But it's the architecture in any other motherboard is not open, so you can learn it. So on a Raspberry Pi, I do believe they're using Python, the language Python, to basically program the Raspberry Pi to be able to do anything.
Okay.
The other thing about the Raspberry Pi is it's also got about 40 ins and outs. That's inputs and outputs, meaning that you can connect it to a host of other sensors or motors, for example, and that's how they're getting it to run. If it's a boat, you know, that sensor is collecting sensor information, it's being processed by the Raspberry Pi, and then that's being fed back into the motors that are controlling the boat. That's pretty much what's going on now. Can you see the Africano down here?
Yeah.
We've pretty much made like a lesser version of what the Raspberry Pi is.
Is that a board, bro?
Yeah, that's the board with
Bro.
the USB.
Bro,
That's
look at this.
that's-
Look at this.
Yeah, we're nearly done with it. Yeah, we're still prototyping.
So bro,
with
you're
it
making a
ourselves.
motherboard, bro. So this is the board. This is the actual.
Yeah, it's an actual board. Yeah.
So-
and that's the mini version of it, with lesser inputs and outputs. This one's got about 50 outputs.
Bro,
This one's got about
this is
On
under
levels.
20.
On levels.
This is
Yeah.
serious.
So I've basically redesigned this and made it geared towards the black diaspora because
so that's called the Africano.
Africano.
Africano, yeah. And so this is a motherboard.
It's like it's a basic motherboard that can do kind of the same stuff that a Raspberry Pi does, but not as advanced.
advanced.
But we'll be
Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah.
We're getting this one.
We're-
Say no more. Say no more. Don't matter. This we're gonna start here.
Yeah. When he's
Africano.
finished it, he's not quite finished it yet. But when
Yeah,
he's finished
soon.
it,
Bro,
that's big movements.
this is what we want to be
This
saying,
is-
Ruben.
right, this is what I'm saying,
It's
yeah.
too radical here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Raspberry Pi. Man's got the thing here, you
Man's
know.
got a thing there, bro.
Is it shame on me?
Yeah, for
shame
real,
on me
bro,
twice,
it's-
you know.
Well, you know what?
Shame on me
It's-
twice.
I wouldn't even say that, you know, because obviously this is one of the things. Because I've done some study in marketing as well, yeah. And one of the major principles in marketing is awareness. Yeah? And oftentimes sometimes it's not the fact that we don't have, you know, these things in our communities. It's just that we're not marketed, or we're not able to
Yes.
market ourselves on the level that makes our people aware of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So this is the importance of things like this. You coming down here, yeah, content over everything, because it increases our awareness of these things. So we just got to big you up for coming down, my brother.
Bro, listen,
You get me?
even if it's just a concept in your head that you've placed on the paper here, right?
Yeah.
10 points, bro.
10 points.
10 points.
But no,
Even-
that's the real
10
thing.
that-
I got the real PCB at home, but it's not finished
It's not
yet
finished
for me
yet.
to go live.
This
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
I'm taking your number, bro.
Yeah.
We're talking. We're gonna go out for lunch. We're gonna talk.
Alright,
This
cool.
is big moves, bro. Africano. Ooh.
No, it's deep. Like when you're looking in the world, yeah, I'm studying things like the driverless car, yeah, you know what I'm saying, and all these things that are coming into world, like the general world population at the moment, yeah, and the levels of you speak about all these institutions up here, right? And it's like I've one of my classes that I did with my youth that I teach, was about the driverless car, and like they're doing it's a documentary of driverless car, and they go around the world, and I'm getting them to see how many different institutions are feeding into the development of one piece of technology that they want everyone to use. One of the major ones is this one right here. NASA.
Of course,
Yeah, just what I'm saying. Another one that we use every day is Google. Yeah, why? Because of the navigation system. Yeah. For the driverless car, they're going to need top-notch navigation system. The top-notch navigation system at the moment is Google, Google Maps. You know what I'm saying? So all of these different institutions, and research centers, there are people that are paid not to do nothing but research. Why? Because their governments are funding the universities for people to just find out how things work, to just develop stuff. Yeah, just what I'm saying, that's it. They're not providing a service to the general public. They're just researching. That's all they do. And all these institutions that are involved in these things. So when you bring this here, and what I'm saying right now is when you bring this here and you got all these institutions on the thing, we have to know how these things link in. Exactly. It's not just about get me Facebook and Twitter and Google and Samsung, like all these things feed into that. There's a whole global economy and system, that brings these things into existence, my G. It's deep. When you study technology, it's like the things, everyday things, that feed into the technology that we're using every day that we don't consider. No. Just what I'm saying, it's a mad thing. You get me? And our youth have to be made aware of it. Why? Because we're using it the most. We're the most on Snapchat and the most on Insta. You know what I'm saying? Like we dominate the thing, fam. Yeah? It's been shown and proven that black presence on social media can shape and move trends. There are television shows that have become number one. Why? Because black people went on Twitter and started talking about the thing. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why we want to do this grand exodus where when we actually find something that's beneficial to us collectively, we can get the masses of people to kind of shift and go, come on here, because this actually was built with you in mind. Your needs come first on this because you need it. You need it, and this is, boom.
Yeah, love it. So all I'm saying is, thank you for coming down, my G. And it's like more of these conversations need to start happening, whereby even on a basic level, we can start to educate our people about the technology, because it's not even like, man is not a scientist like that. But it's just, as a lay person, just studying these things, it's very important.
Trust me, they're hundreds of years ahead of us, and we need to catch up. That's the way that I see it, because they're ruling over us because of this technology. For example, you see down here, this is cell phone towers. We need to understand how these things are working.
What's it called again?
That's a cell phone tower.
Okay, so
Now, you wouldn't believe it, but this is actually a weapon. 21st century weapon that can basically send frequencies to on all manner of things and cause harm.
Proper harm.
You heard about the Wi-Fi causing cancer?
All kinds of different things. But people have been predicting that from time. I'll give you a more basic example than that. There's a lot of fracas at the moment in terms of China in Africa. And the extent to which, so for example, Zambia's power system, is basically controlled by China at the moment. And there's a lot of talk about that. The telecom systems in places like Ghana, and when you talk about like telecommunications, in places like West Africa, is a very serious industry. Where these European companies like Digicel in the Caribbean, them kind of things there, Vodafone, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone's got a cell phone. People can't eat and them kind of things.
We don't own the satellites. This is our main problem.
This what I'm saying.
We need to get a satellite up in space.
Right. So we could do these things. But the point is that when
sorry, can I just interject? The satellites don't exist, my friend, and they never had. They never have.
That's a different thing.
If you can prove that satellites are up there, I'll give you a nice prize.
That's a different argument. What does exist? Satellites
don't exist.
What does exist is telecommunications.
I ain't got time for this conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Internet-based.
Right, cool.
It's all underground
That's cool,
cables.
right? But what we're talking about is science and technology. What does exist is telecommunications. And what I'm saying is, the fact that when we look at we're living in an information age, innit? It's all about communication, And I'm saying that governments are trying to control the communications of other governments so they can control the country.
Oh no, I don't disagree with you there.
Right, that's what we're talking about.
So you know about Article 13?
That's what we're talking about.
Article 13? Are you familiar with Article 13?
I've heard of it. I haven't studied it very.
All right,
very,
well,
very
guys,
deeply.
if you haven't heard of Article 13, they're debating now in the EU right now, and they just passed a couple of motions. It hasn't become law yet, but they passed a couple of motions. If they're trying to stop all free speech on YouTube, etc., So they're trying to, through the copyright laws. Copyright laws are there, fair use, education, criticism, etc. They're all there set up so we can speak freely. But the EU is now looking at Article 13 in order to try to basically, Article 13. Look into Article 13. They're trying to censor YouTube and censor the media. Trying to censor the internet, basically. So have a look at that.
What do you do, brother? What do you do?
I'm just doing a YouTube blog.
So you're a blogger?
Yeah.
So you're going to be silenced, yeah?
I don't know. I hope not.
Are you a big fan of technology?
No, I'm a massive fan of technology. That's what I use. What I'm saying.
You have your own channel?
Have a look. Yeah, Eco Dave Media.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Eco Dave Media.
Eco Dave Media
Yeah.
on YouTube and Instagram. Yeah.
But and this is the point that's being made. But what I'm saying is, and the conversation that we're having here, in terms of how this fits into like everyday life, innit? Is what I'm trying to say right about now.
Yeah.
How it fits into everyday life, yeah? So that people are able to understand. Because it sounds like we're talking these big concepts and these things that are way beyond people. Because you got to be in a university to understand these things.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this every day, my G. Because I've been Ghana and I've seen man in a shack, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like board house, what we call it, yeah? But he's got a mobile phone. His mobile phone's better than mine. Yeah? But that's because there's an economic system whereby these people have put programs in place whereby they can get these people these little devices. You know what I'm saying? But then you learn that the telecommunications of the whole nation is controlled by America. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they're building a lot of the technological advancement things and them kind of things.
They know how it works.
Right.
They write the code for it.
Right.
Right. They know how the back end works. They know how, they put backdoor entries into it so they can control it and we wouldn't even know
it's
it.
much deeper than that, my brother.
This is why, in my eyes, we need to understand how this technology works. We need to invent our own, reinvent the ball.
Right.
And basically, it might take 30 years. It might take 50 years. But like that's what it's going to take for us to be independent and be able to sustain us.
Google and Facebook basically run a lot of the communications that are going on the internet right now. We can have independent platforms. If any company wants to build another YouTube, you're going to make a fortune. Just take everything off YouTube and put it on your.
People have tried this. Nobody's been able to.
Don't have the volumes. I mean, Google has massive factories, server factories. So basically, it'll come basically. But Google and Facebook, they're not privately owned, by the way, guys. They are, they're corporations. Of
course, yeah.
We all know who's behind them, basically. Yes,
some
exactly.
of these people right here.
Yeah, and NASA. NASA. You know what? Now, and now that I noticed you got NASA, can I just zoom in on that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's got a NASA sticker there, guys. NASA. If anybody can actually show me an image of Earth from space, there's only one actually, the blue marble taken during the so-called Apollo missions, but we all know about that. Bart Umbrella, funny thing happened on the way to the moon. If anybody can actually, if you Google images of Earth from space, this is 2018. We're not living in the 1500s. 2018. If anybody can actually, if you Google images of Earth from space, all you're going to get back is CGI and cartoons. NASA's taking 54 million a day. That's 19.1 billion a year, and all they're giving back is CGI and cartoon. It's Disney for adults. It's Disney for adults. We live on a stationary level plane, guys. All the ancient cultures, all the ancient texts say that. So, have a look into that. NASA, and you've only got to look at their footage of the ISS. It's all done in a swimming pool. It's all done via green screen. And
wait, hold on, wait. Are you a flat earther? Can I ask? Are you a flat earther?
Definitely am. Flat stationary level plane.
Right. So now that we know what direction you're coming from,
that was a funny reaction. Anyway, go on.
No.
But once you research it, you realise. Do you feel like you're moving right now? Do you feel like you're moving?
No,
we're
but
stationary, aren't we?
that doesn't make.
Properties of water always level. Have a look at that. So if they're leveling the river, leveling the lakes, they're leveling the oceans.
What's your name, bro?
Eco Dave Media.
Eco Dave Media.
Yeah.
If the world was flat or
is
round, how does it change your reality?
Oh, it definitely changes everything. Because so the foundation where you come from, if you have, I'll tell you exactly what it changes. If you have the foundation in your daily life or through your education that you live on a ball, that's the foundation, almost like a house. That's the foundation of the house. Anything that's built up from that will be false, basically. So what I'm saying is, if you understand, if you have strong foundations, you can move on from that. What it is, people always ask me, what's it about? I say it's not about money, because they can print as many as they want, and it does grow on trees. It's paper, so it's about power and control. If they cannot control every person by following them, even every person on the internet they cannot control, but they can control every person on this Earth system by perception. It doesn't matter what religious background you come from, what country you come from. If they can control your perception, you see. Perception creates your reality.
Yes, it does.
Perception creates your reality.
So let me ask a question.
Take responsibility for your own perception, your own reality.
Let me ask a question. What particular difference in perception is caused by the Earth being round, yes, that would require them for us to not know that the Earth is flat.
So no, it's a false system, isn't it? So when you were 5 years old, you
and that can
basically
be detrimental.
detrimental.
Next question, What about the moon and the sun, which are round?
They revolve around us. So, but
Okay,
seeing
so the
something
Earth
out
is-
there that's
the Earth
round
is
doesn't
flat.
make this place. It's circular, and it seems like we live on a system where it's all level, continents surrounded by water. What's beyond that? You'd have to research Admiral E. Byrd. So Richard E. Byrd, he did many expeditions beyond Antarctica. I haven't been there. I can't tell you categorically.
Why has someone not fallen off the edge of the Earth?
No, because it could go on just like so-called space. It could go on, for, basically there's not. And, this preconception that there's an edge is also a falsehood. Because just like it could go on further, it could go on infinitely as well.
So you're
what I'm
saying
saying is the foundation is
infinitely
false.
flat.
Sorry?
The Earth is infinitely flat, you're saying?
It could be, it could be. But I say I haven't been
as in it has no end.
But if you read the Bible, the Torah, exactly. The Quran and the Vedas, they all say the same thing, especially the Hindu Vedas. They say it's all... And Admiral E. Byrd, when he did his expeditions in the 40s and 50s, he said they went beyond Antarctica, and he said he saw a continent the size of America beyond Antarctica.
So what is the concept of the
get around
planet?
to that. If there's more land, there's more resources. If there's more resources, we don't need war. Sorry about that, bro.
Well, I mean, I don't think the Earth needs to be flat for us to know that,
No, it does, because if there's more, it's about power and control.
But I think that the idea that there's more resources on the planet than they're letting us know is not
on the
reliant.
on the plane further beyond.
Do you want to come on the camera so you don't knock the mic?
I've already done interviews on Leon's channel.
Yeah. Are you hiding your identity?
No, it's all. I'm on my own. I'm live now, so I don't mind. Coming on.
What I'm trying
don't
to
mind
say,
coming on. This is Leon's channel. I'm very familiar with Leon. So if I squeeze
I
over,
think I've seen you on it still.
Yeah.
But my thing is,
Sorry, I'll just if you don't
So
mind.
wait, can I just clarify what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because it sounds to me, what you just said a minute ago sounds as though the Earth, has infinite land.
It's possibly, it could. I've never been beyond Antarctica.
Infinite.
It could be. Well, space is supposedly infinite.
So what's the the concept of a planet then, for example, If the Earth is infinite in space, what is the concept of a planet? What is the concept of space or various different planets?
I understand that. I understand that question. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So basically, I get you where you're coming from. The so-called planets, and even the stars, are just luminaries. If you take a P900 camera and zoom in on those so-called, they're luminaries, not stars, whatever. You will see that they almost just like flickering lights. It looks like they're underwater. So what you get from NASA. Again, sorry, but it's all CGI. Every image of Saturn and whatever, perfect images.
What was it before supercomputers came about to produce CGI?
It would have been just fake moon landings and things like that in the studio. But what I'm saying is, if you really focus in on those planets or so-called planets, they seem to be luminaries.
Let me jump to help you.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about technology and how
Yeah,
that
no,
affects... we got tie in.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking about technology and how that might affect the African community, right?
Yeah.
Now, here is a gentleman who's trained in 3D modeling, right?
In what?
In
3D modeling.
3D modeling. Oh, yeah, printing.
Right?
Yeah, 3D.
So we know that. Let's go from a current perspective.
Yeah.
We know that in the 80s, they were capable of making animations. It wasn't as good as today, like Toy Story.
Computer games, etc.
and this stuff, right? But before then,
1982.
it was traditional animation and stop motion, right?
Yeah.
So are you saying that today it's 3D animation, but before it's 3D animation, what was it before?
No, it would have been just Stanley Kubrick studio lighting. The
but hold on.
school.
But that was live action, real imagery. What about?
It wasn't live. It was pre-recorded.
Okay, whatever. When was the first picture? Yeah. Okay, the first actual picture taken with an SLR camera. What was it, 1960s? I don't know. Give me facts on that.
Yeah, okay. So basically what they took as, and I'll explain what they actually did in the first so-called Apollo mission. They said, if you look at Bob Sobrell, a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. He actually breaks it down over the course of a 1-hour documentary. It's on YouTube. But you see them supposedly they're 3 days away going to the moon, but they're not. They're in low Earth orbit. And they actually seal off the window, make it look like it's an image of the Earth, but it's in low Earth orbit. The image that came back, you couldn't see any land masses. It was just low Earth orbit. So it was fakery, big fakery, basically. That's the only blue marble image of the Earth, basically, yeah? And it was done in low Earth orbit. So they've been faking it ever since it was a big space race with Russia. So they've been faking it all along. What you get now, the technology, we talk about technology, has moved forward.
Did Russia go to space?
questionable. But they may have gone beyond, high up, but it's questionable.
Is there such thing as space?
In my opinion, you'd have to question that, and you can have to research that. Not in the,
Well,
not in the,
if
not
the Earth is infinite
not
in
in
land.
the, not in the,
It must be infinite in sky.
not in the, not in the NASA's
coming on space.
perspective, space. No, I don't follow the, the idea that there's no, I don't actually follow the Big Bang and we're a monkey on a ball. So the NASA view of space, no, I think it's a load of horse. It's a load of rubbish. Sorry.
Why do you think people think the opposite? Why do you think this whole industry is based upon studying stars, the moons?
Again, I told you about power and control before, but let me get back to technology.
Go ahead.
How they're doing it, how NASA's faking it now. What they've got modern technology like we have, and people are doing this in their own bedrooms and in their living rooms. They can get green screen. It's basically 3 layers. I'm quite familiar with Photoshop and all that. I've done a lot of things in that as well.
So you know Photoshop?
So yeah, and Photoshop, and then also green screen technology.
You know I use Photoshop, right?
Yeah. Hang on, let me just finish.
So you can show me this image, and I can tell if it's been Photoshopped.
Yeah, you can actually the moon. On the moon missions where they show the Earth in the distance, it's been photoshopped. So they've actually inserted
the modern stuff or the old stuff.
Even both. Yeah, but
so the old stuff has been photoshopped before.
Well, no. It's been doctored.
Yeah,
not necessarily when Photoshop's only been around.
Yeah.
But let's say the images we get now is very easily to manipulate because what they have a 3-layer system, 3 layers up to 20, 25 layers. But it's basically green screen number 1, and then it's the number 2 could be a studio, where separate from the green screen. So there could be 2 studios, where the actors are.
Right.
All these actors on the so-called ISS are all actors, by the way. And then the 3rd layer is AR. So they're wearing contact lenses. They can see. But and then the balls they're thrown in, up and down, whatever, they're layered on after that. Right. But sometimes there's a glitch. So that's between the 2nd and 3rd layer where they're supposedly throwing balls around, there's nothing there. So it's all 3 layers. It's all fakery. And even Usain Bolt went up on the plane recently just to do like a PR. When they're going, they're not actually floating at all. They're just either in the there's a couple of environments they have. They have the studio. They have the green screen studios. They have the swimming pool when they put the spacesuit on, and it's not, it's supposed to be pressurized up there, but they're in the swimming pool. Bubbles in space. Come on, you can see all that.
How many countries have been to space that you know? How many countries?
No, I would say none. I mean, I've just done research. None. Space doesn't exist. Come on,
Right, next question then.
Yeah.
Like, who is putting out this rhetoric, this narrative that the world, the Earth, is round? NASA, because or Russia, for example, because they were the first.
No, but everybody in the Western world was indoctrinated into, a ball model globe in the classroom from 5 years old. It's only when you get critical thinking as an adult.
Before that, they used to think that the world was flat.
Exactly. So they're coming. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, right.
Yeah, exactly. Hundreds of years. And it's always been there.
I should say Europeans thought that the world was flat.
No, actually, I've been in Thailand and I've actually stayed with indigenous cultures. And they all know, everybody that hasn't been indoctrinated into the Western education system, all still know that the Earth is flat.
To be fair, though, there are Asian cultures that believe that the world was round.
Why are India, who have been to space now, why are they keeping up? All right, why are they?
Yeah, but it's fireworks.
Why are they keeping up with this rhetoric, with this?
No, because it's like a club. All the space agencies are in it together. And if you notice on a NASA launch, it's almost like Disney. They're fooling people because the rocket, it's a big firework. The rocket goes up, it does an arch, and then it switches to CGI. At the peak, it switches to CGI.
And it's done for power.
And then it goes to CGI.
How is power achieved by this?
Say again?
So how is power achieved by the fake landings and stuff?
It's told you, it's perception controlling everybody on this Earth plane.
No, but
everybody, doesn't matter which religious background you come from.
But you're not answering the question.
Doesn't matter which country you come from.
You're not answering the question.
Power and control, perception.
But power and control has purpose, isn't it? It has intentionality.
Yeah.
So, for example, right, when you came in on the conversation, we were talking about I was talking about telecommunications,
yes,
and I was saying that we live in an information age.
Definitely.
So in terms of governments, they want to control the communications of other countries. So the power they're trying to
and their local, everybody on the internet. Article 13.
Right? What I'm trying to say is, so the purpose is to be able to control information. So we're asking you now, what is the specific purpose that is being served by convincing everybody that the world is round?
Again, as I told you, it's perception. If your foundations, you need solid foundations.
Perception for the purpose of producing what?
I'll say the perception would be to control the masses, basically.
Control the masses.
Let me finish this. Yeah. If you could give the masses a false perception, you can control them, basically.
Yes. No. Hold on.
Do you not disagree with that?
No. The principle of what you're saying is not being debated. Yeah. What we're asking you, is if there is a reason why they want us to believe the world is round, as opposed to flat. For example, if Christian, you've got a Christian over here, you've got a Muslim over here. The Christian wants you to believe in his religion, yes, for the purpose of the fact that it's going to economically, yes, and socially benefit him. Yeah? With regards to the Muslim, the same thing. So you have to believe. So I'm saying that.
Great example.
So let's say the Christian is the flat earther and the Muslim.
Oh, no, I don't want to split it up into religions.
No, hold on. But I'm saying that there's a purpose that is being served here.
No, good question.
Right.
Now let me debate that as well. So basically, you think if the governments, or let's say if the powers, let's say NASA, convince everybody that they're living on the ball, they can then take 54 million a day, 19.1 billion a year. This is what the problem I have, because that money should be spent on social welfare. But they're creaming this money off the taxpayer, US taxpayer, as is ESA, as is the Russian space agency, all of them, the Chinese.
Right. So you're saying that
it's from money.
So what you're saying is that it's another way
control
to
and then for money.
abuse people's tax money.
Exactly.
So they convince them of this big lie.
Okay.
Yeah. And so basically we're being convinced to give our money to research to support this lie. And what are they doing with this money?
Well, there could be all different reasons, but the quantitative easing in the 2008, the financial crash.
Yes.
So they've had 7 or 8 quantitative easings. What are they doing with that money? We're not privy to that.
Right. So I know
I'm
a little
not privy
bit
to
about
that. I don't work for
theory.
NASA. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not an expert in it. Do flat earthers believe in the existence of other planets?
We don't actually. I wouldn't say belief is probably the wrong word, but we've actually researched this. A lot of people have researched it with their cameras, and they've actually focused in on those so-called luminaries.
Yes.
And they're just flickering lights, and they're certainly the sun is not.
So that I know. So Mars, Jupiter, Saturn.
No, because
don't exist.
no, they exist, but they're not as you're told by NASA. If you zoom in on those, they're almost like just flickering lights. You can Google this now.
No,
the real image,
flickering?
the luminary from a P900. Google this. Anybody who's watching, Google an image of Mars or Saturn, whatever, with a P900, and then put that contrast that with a NASA CGI image. Totally different. Totally different.
When you say flickering light, you mean that somebody's controlling a light switch?
No.
Explain what you mean.
The physical thing. It's just flickering, almost like.
So what? Yeah, but what is it?
It seems like to be underwater.
But
you can check that for yourself.
What is it? Is it?
I've never been there. I can't say categorically. But what I'm saying, can I ask you a question?
So it's not like a. It's not. So basically, what you're saying is that the Earth, Jupiter, Saturn, and Rare are not akin to each other in terms of, these are not balls of matter.
Okay, so
in a place.
Okay, let me answer that. Right. So do you feel like you're moving right now, standing there?
No, but we did this.
Not moving.
We all did this experiment when we was at primary school.
You swung a bucket.
Yeah, you swung it with the water in it.
Yeah, but then that's going. The water would go out, so the water, the ocean's water would fly off. That's in the opposite direction. That's been disproven. So let's just say, for argument's sake, now we're all standing here and we're stationary. I feel like I'm stationary. Do you feel like you're moving? We're all stationary, right? You look at the properties of water. Water is always level. It's always basically flat. It's always level. Rivers, lakes. So the whole Earth system is basically a stationary level plane. Now, I was just going to mention also, if you see the sun right there, your eyes can only see about 20 miles up to the horizon, a bit further, maybe on a good day a lot further. But do you really think you can see 93 million miles away? No ways.
Are you a scientist, man?
I'm coming from a scientific point of view and academic background.
Are you a scientist?
I'm not in the modern. Yeah, exactly. Natural sciences. Natural science. There's a difference between scientism, the modern sciences, and natural sciences. I'm coming from a natural sciences background. Yeah.
Right. But,
so if you look,
are you actually a scientist?
Not a renowned or with the.
Why not?
No, not a PhD. So not a renowned. Let's say that I've done my research and I've actually into the natural sciences,
right.
But I'm not a scientist per se.
How do you
these scientists natural science to modern science is quite different. The modern science is more scientism, theories, basically hypothesis, etc.
Right.
But the natural sciences is anything you can see now with your own senses. Water being flat and level. The trees. That's natural sciences. Right. What I'm saying to you, the Earth is fixed, basically, and the sun and the moon revolve around us.
Now
almost,
you know this.
Almost on a
magnetic. Now you
field.
know this. How's your life changed?
Has my life changed? It's become a lot simpler, and I don't have. After researching a guy called Dr. Sebi, I'm actually a vegan, so I have a very pure diet, and I have, I don't put, I avoid all the fluoride and all of that and all the chemicals. That detox, and then also having a mental detox, actually made me a lot clearer. and I don't get all those nonsense thoughts, repetitive thoughts you get every day.
But that makes
Basics
sense.
From
Dr.
getting rid
Sebi, eat a certain way,
Yeah.
your body's healthier.
Yeah, exactly.
Your
You
mind's
process.
healthier.
Look, I did that years
logically
ago.
speaking, in
Did that years
terms of a natural science perspective,
Yeah.
that makes complete sense.
Exactly.
What I think what Ray was asking you
Yeah.
is in terms of not believing that the Earth is round and believing that it's flat.
Oh.
How has that changed your existence?
Oh, immensely, because now I'm not bogged down with all the ball belief or bowel belief.
I say for me, yeah,
I'm not, but on a daily basis,
as
I don't
somebody who accepts that the
I
Earth
don't
is
even
round,
watch TV.
yeah.
I don't even watch the advert, and it's all the same program. It's all programming. So I'm deprogrammed, I would
May
say.
I give you a story?
Yeah, go on.
So for me,
Yeah.
the scientists, or the scientisms, right?
Yeah.
They were negotiating whether Pluto is a planet or a non-planet.
Yeah.
Right? There's another word.
Yeah.
When
I
it
would
is
say it's something else.
something else. When
Yeah.
they've voted that it's something else,
yeah.
my life hasn't changed.
Not at all.
No, because you're not there. You're not
Doesn't
living on
matter to me.
Pluto. But we're here. We're here on this plane.
But even if they-
we're here on this
but
flat
you know,
plane.
even if I
Yeah.
accepted you, so you know what? That the world is flat.
The world is flat.
Today,
I-
like
you know,
today,
yeah.
I can still go to McDonald's
Yeah.
and not buy anything.
I wouldn't advise you to do
Well, I
that.
wouldn't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
can
agree.
still, I can walk in there and not buy anything.
No,
I
no,
can,
it-
I
it's
can,
on
I
the-
can go
in-
to the swimming pool and decide
It
to
will
play swim.
change in many ways. In
I'm not
many
going to
ways.
drown in the pool.
Not
the McDonald's ain't
specifically.
going to come back to life and eat me.
Yeah,
I'm
not-
still going to
not
get on a
specifically.
plane
Yeah.
and go Jamaica and Ghana.
And you'll fly straight on a
I'm
plane.
saying, fine, doesn't matter.
Plane,
Yeah.
plane,
Whether-
on a
whether
plane,
I'm- whether-
on a
whether-
plane, by the
whether
way,
I'm-
yeah.
whether I'm flying straight or round,
Yeah.
it don't matter as long as I get to
It doesn't
Jamaica,
impact me.
right? It don't matter.
I
As
hear
long
you,
as I get to where I'm
brother.
going to,
I hear you,
doesn't
brother.
matter.
Being
I
lied
hear
to
you,
is
I
one
hear you,
thing.
I hear
Being
you.
lied to is a good, like
Yeah.
and the motivation behind the lie.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that because when you came in, we were talking about something
Different,
We're
yeah.
trying
Yeah, no, it's
to-
fine. I mean, I appreciate
and
talking,
those
you know.
local joint speakers.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying is, we realize that a certain section of people
Yes.
have been mistreated
Yes.
for certain reasons,
Yes.
and we're trying to find solutions.
Yes.
And we feel that technology is important. Now, one thing is, we don't want to confuse people.
Yes.
Where it's like we want them to actually learn science. So,
Mm.
so there's your kind of science.
Not mine. It's not mine. It's natural sciences. Yeah.
The science that you adhere to.
Someone's put
Yes,
that
yeah.
narrative out there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, and do you know what it is?
Sorry, I just lost my
I
connection,
think that there is value in knowing our universe, innit?
Yeah, yeah.
Because naturally speaking, we are connected to the universe. All matter is one. You know what I'm saying? All these principles. So it's like knowing certain things, having a positive understanding of the universe. Yeah, enables us to understand our physical being even more. That's the basis of all these things that we're talking about, technology and them kind of things there. But I think there are ways that in which we teach it or speak about it that is more applicable to our reality than others.
Can you imagine?
That's
I
it.
just actually wanted to explain this though. So supposedly we're on a ball that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, but then that ball is actually moving around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, and that sun is actually moving at 500,000 miles an hour. So you can see on my channel, it's Eco Day Media. I've done some graphics on that. So you've got this whole.
What software did you use, man?
Say again?
What software did you
No, I'm
use?
saying you can. No, it's just I'm just using Photoshop or whatever as well.
But
I'm just.
I mean,
no,
I use Photoshop, so
yeah.
I
No, you
use
can
it,
just.
you know,
You can anyway. You can see the graphics there.
Well,
So
hold
you
on,
can-
for
yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is the point.
Here's
Go
the
on,
point.
go on, yeah.
This is why it's the point, because I want to take you seriously.
Yeah, okay.
And when you start talking about the universe, I'm not a scientist, right?
Okay.
But if a scientist would say he could jump in, but you're mentioning softwares, and I go, oh, I've been using that for 20 years. So when
Yeah.
you go, Photoshop, this, that, I'm like, oh, did you use it or did you not?
Okay, so on that particular example, I didn't use it. No.
Okay.
Okay.
So how
what
did
I'm
you
saying,
get this graphics
Okay,
to
so
be
this.
produced?
Okay, so this graphics is out there. It's out in the public
So
domain.
you didn't make it?
No, I'm saying I've enhanced it.
Right.
So different filters and things like
okay.
that, etc. I've
And what
worked on.
software did you use? Because we're talking about technology.
I use different filters on. Let's see, I've got a Mac, so I used just basically the software on that. So
Here's
yeah.
what it is, brother.
Yeah.
You don't sound very technically advanced, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
not that it's good or bad, but we're trying to talk about.
Okay, so let me just finish my point and we'll get around to that.
You've come with this big, maybe hypothesis, maybe reality.
No, it's not me. It's
reality.
many people have come to the
10 points for
conclusion.
that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm trying to understand your mind and how you technically got there. And I don't know much about the universe.
Yeah,
I'll be
okay,
honest.
I see.
But what I
Okay,
do
I see.
understand is
Okay,
about
yeah,
technology.
yeah, I see.
And
Okay.
everything you're talking about isn't
No,
technology.
well, you can actually make this. You can actually do this on. There's various softwares out there. Let me.
No, my friend,
I understand that.
I'm trained in 20 softwares.
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
Professionally. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So have you seen this image where
Expertise.
the ball is actually flying through space
No,
with the planets
so
whirling
here's
around?
what it is. I
the
can
corkscrew?
make that.
Okay, that's fine.
This brother
Great.
can make that.
Okay, good.
We can
okay.
get
So you're familiar
we
with
can
it,
get
yeah.
a shape,
Yeah.
change it to 3D,
Yeah.
give texture on it,
Yeah, it's
and a bit
fine.
of yellow,
So-
and
been done.
have a camera circle around
Okay,
it.
it's been
But
done.
we give you the MPEG file to upload to your channel.
Okay,
so
it's
I'm
been
saying
done.
is, that's we understand
So
this
contact
science.
me
right?
on the Instagram.
Well,
Okay.
what we understand this
Yeah,
science.
okay. Yeah,
So
okay.
this is where we're at, isn't it?
Okay,
Yeah?
that's fine.
But it seems
Okay.
like you're the same words.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
it's
so
like,
this
it's just
particular
words, isn't it?
this particular video I didn't make personally, but I have a reference it on my channel.
Right.
So you really think that we're a ball flying through
So
space?
it's second-hand
almost, yeah,
knowledge,
yeah.
isn't it?
No, second-hand video.
Second-hand,
But, so
yeah.
it's almost going. Do you really think
So
that
you
it's
want
going?
us to do?
No, I'm saying no.
To
Let
you,
me finish.
trust you, but don't trust
no,
the
I
others
don't.
to say
I'm not asking you to trust or
Just a
believe
minute
me or
ago,
anything like that.
you were critiquing the motion graphics that NASA were doing.
Exactly.
And now you've done the same.
No, I haven't done the same thing. Hang on. So you.
It's a good point, though. You know?
No, it's a valid
excellent
point.
point.
So this ball, you really think we're living on a ball that it's going through space, almost like with the planets going around? I was trying to describe it to you to imagine it.
I wanna know
and
what
it's almost
science
like
you're using
it's
to
going.
actually
Well, let
document
me
this,
finish.
and-
It's going through space like this as a corkscrew, and it's flying through space at astronomical speeds. That's the point I'm making. Doesn't matter what
Let
software.
me help you out here. Because
Yeah.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
But he wants to know what significance does it have.
Oh,
to
what
his life?
significance? Well,
What
do you really
does
think
what
that
change
it's
is it
almost
gonna make
that's a cartoon,
in-
man? That is a cartoon that you're flying through space at these astronomical speeds. It's just a cartoon, NASA cartoon, but NASA came up with that.
But
Basically,
you know,
yeah?
I got an idea about it.
But do you really think we're flying? Do you really think we're doing this corkscrew through space? No,
Because
come
we're just going
on.
around in
We're
circles.
we're stationary.
We're just
yeah.
going around in circles, and I think that as black people, because this is what this conversation is all about, how are black people going to be benefiting from any of this information? Why don't we build our own space
Platforms.
rocket, our own satellites, and let's go up there for ourselves and see if everything
Good luck with that.
they say is
Good
the
luck
truth.
with that. You know, there's restrictions, right?
Now,
There's a lot
we're-
of restrictions.
well,
Good luck with
Right
that.
now, we're just going by what someone says on the
There's
internet,
much
what
easier way of
narrative.
doing that, a much cheaper way is do a skydive.
From where?
From where? Yeah. How
You
high
can,
do
only
you
do, you
go?
can only do 35,000 in the UK. That's 15,000 or 20,000, I believe it is.
You need to be
And that will
70,000
show you
feet
quite a
to
bit.
see the-
You know what,
100,000 feet.
You know
There's
what,
been
though?
balloons. It's
The
already
other
done
day,
it.
right,
There's
I
been
was watching
balloons
this
sent out
documentary
100,000 feet. They got
on the ocean,
all footage, and
yeah?
it's all flat.
And it was
it's already been done.
one of the things that
There's
that
a
is
rocket
very
was sent
interesting
up.
in
You can
terms
look
of-
at this.
It's
The
kind of-
Go
it's a bit
Fast
of a
rocket.
contradiction.
About
Yeah?
four
One second.
Dave, one at a time.
It's
4 years
a
ago.
bit of a contradiction, logically speaking, yeah, or basically speaking, right? Is the fact that we apparently, yeah, know more about outer space than we do the depth of the Earth. Yeah.
How
So
far
I'm
have they
saying,
gone down? Do you
right?
know how far they've
I
drilled
I'm
it?
not-
I'll tell you,
I can't-
8
I'm not
miles
sure,
only.
right?
8
Yeah,
miles.
right? But in terms of the ocean, there's so much about the ocean
Yeah, that's true.
that we're yet to
Yeah,
discover,
yeah, that's
and there are technologies right now. So right now this is the thing. 'Cause we don't have to question whether there's an ocean or not. We know say did there, yeah, and it's deep, right?
Is
Just what I'm
there
saying.
a shot? Okay.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Banksy.
Yeah. Say again?
Banksy
Well,
thinks the
you
wall's
might-
a
You might
ball.
sound different. Right? Forget that, right?
What's your channel?
Right?
Banksy.
But the point is that
Banksy
they're
style.
developing technologies now to
he's
be
living on the
able
ball,
to go
guys.
deeper
Yeah.
into the
I
earth
should
now,
really
but
take
there's
Eric
less
to
funding
Bay's
through
channel.
it. You know what I'm saying? That's what
$10,000.
NASA.
Anybody?
Yeah?
$10,000
This is where it's real to
if you
me.
can prove you're on a ball.
This is what I'm saying, because there's minerals in the earth that we don't even know about yet. Yeah, but we're talking about outer space, and so there's more money being given to study space and the kind of things there than there is to study the ocean.
It's a big con.
Or you know what I'm saying, or
big
minerals
con.
in the earth. And that's partly because now the purpose.
You and I
for
will
that
never
would
go
be
up there.
The fact that the people that are controlling the mineral wealth on the planet want to maintain that control, so they want to basically deny. You know what I'm saying?
They want to control everything.
That's
We
the
haven't got
purpose.
enough money. There are no grants.
Gee, me. You
You
think
stop saying,
they've got
but
lots
that's
of
the
money?
purpose,
They can
yeah?
print
this
it all
other stuff,
themselves.
There doesn't appear to be a purpose towards convincing people of this thing. So I'm saying that we have to identify what the purpose is. We can't just say it's power. There are purposes for which people yield and try to control your perception. And that's important.
That's what I just told you. That's why. That's the main reason.
But you didn't tell us the purpose.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right?
the
That's what I'm saying.
purpose
So,
is to control
your
your perception, which
control us
controls your
control us
reality.
for the purpose. For example, if a man wants to sell me Nike, yeah, he wants to convince me that there's a value in the Nike tick, yeah.
Yeah.
So the purpose is he wants me to buy Nike,
And that's why
yeah?
there's loads of Nike adverts
all
on
them,
TV.
All them kind of
Yeah.
yes. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm saying that what we're yet to get from you, apart from the abstract notion of they want to control and power,
Yeah.
is the purpose for trying to convince people of this thing. So, for example, like I'm just giving an example of they're focusing on outer space and not the Earth because they're trying to control mineral resources.
Okay, so
That kind
I'll
of thing.
come back to that.
That's a defined purpose.
Okay, so there
Yeah?
is tax dollars. They want you tax dollars. They
want
want
the
you.
tax
They want you
fine.
in this perception belief system where your foundation is that you're on a ball.
Yes.
And then anything above that is false. Is basically false. Because if your foundations are false, that you live on a ball, everything above that is false.
All right.
The perception controls your reality. If you're taking
Yeah, but
in
I
from
think
media,
it needs to
the
be more
perception.
specific than
Okay,
that.
hang on.
Yeah,
It will
too
control
general.
your reality.
because they got to tax
Now-
dollars anyway, Machi.
Now-
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're working,
Now, yeah.
if we go to the shop, they got to tax dollars. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality.
Tax dollars, like NASA's getting 54 million a day.
From us in England.
No, the British Space Agency is doing the same. They're getting $1 million a day, basically. So those tech dollars are basically funding their. We don't know what it's funding, basically, because we're not privy to that.
Saying that money could be better spent.
Yes, on social welfare.
No, it could.
Yes.
And it probably could. And
Whether the,
you know what?
whether the world is flat around,
exactly, that's the case.
That don't change.
That reality doesn't change about whether the world is flat or round or anything.
It does change, because what I'm trying to get through to you, if you build a house and you've got shaky foundation, if you've got so for example, if somebody builds a house and the foundation should be made of concrete and it should go right down, but if they make it of rubber or of plastic, what's going to happen? The house is going to fall down.
Now you explain to me.
Exactly.
Now explain to us. How the foundation. Give us
of knowing true knowledge.
Yes. So,
okay.
So, hold on. Give us a real vivid example now of how our understanding of the universe, practically applied, would change if we accept that the Earth is flat.
Okay, so we're living on a system that is, in my opinion, and many others, is a stationary level plane.
Yes.
Admiral Byrd said it goes. There's more land beyond Antarctica. I've never been there, so I can't say categorically. There may be more land. So if there's more land, there's more resources. If there's more resources, we don't need to have wars. And the second point is that we could choose a more simpler way of life, sustainable, eco-friendly, as is on my channel, Eco Dave Media, but a sustainable lifestyle. So we all go, majority people are doing this, going vegan. We can stop this overproduction of land farming for. Hang on, let me finish. For meat production. So let's reduce all that down to about 10%, whatever. If people want to, let's reduce that, and then we could feed the whole population on this Earth system. Basically 5 times over. Do you know that 80% of farmland goes into meat production? We don't need to eat meat. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that, and then we can live an eco-sustainable lifestyle. And we only need to work 2 hours a day. You work 2 hours a day, you're employed. I work 2 hours a day, I'm employed. He works 2 hours a day, he's employed. Yeah. He works 2 hours a day, and instead of one person, then 3 people. I don't know what your background is, but one person works like a slave, and then the rest of the people don't work.
But you know what I mean?
Do you want to know our background?
I don't know. No, I wasn't saying that. I was just giving an example.
We were talking about technology, right? And our background is in technology and trying to train our community the benefits of actually.
I fully agree with that.
That's the conversation we're having.
Make your own platform.
That's what we're doing.
Independent.
And you said Dr. Sebi, but a lot of the people actually follow Dr. Sebi. I'm a vegetarian myself, so it's like
high five.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So and this is why it's important for us here, right, as black people here, to have an independent perspective, because half of what he just said, applies whether the world is round or the world is flat. That's the reality. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, that one of the things that I agree is that there's a big distraction tactic on the planet at the moment, in terms of resources,
Sorry, did you say distraction or destruction?
Both.
Yes.
Right. I said distraction, but both would apply.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. What's it called? But so, which is not dependent upon there being more land beyond Antarctica. The reality is there are more resources on the planet. There's much more abundance than scarcity on the planet as we know it. That fact applies whether the world is round or the world is flat. That's the reality.
It's how you use the resources.
Right. But the fact of the matter is, power dynamics as it stands at the moment are designed to serve certain people, in particular certain nations.
Up there,
right?
in the high, the echelons up there. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. So the point is that when it comes to us
change the system, guys.
And the reality is that the place that is exploited the most in this dynamic is the continent of Africa, where most of these resources are and are coming from. It's related back to what we were discussing before, right? And the reality is that the people, like us, who are from that continent, are kept from that particular knowledge. To know about the land. What I'm saying is that this applies in a round world, or Earth, or a flat Earth. The fact of the matter is that at school we weren't taught geography and geology, to know where to find resources, where to find minerals,
how to grow your own food,
and the usages for resources and minerals. If we go to top schools in this country, like the Eton and the Arrow and the Oxford and the Cambridge, these people are taught these things.
Exactly.
Why?
And more.
Because they're being trained to run governments and to rule over.
Exactly.
So I'm saying, and so even in universities and the kind of things they're on in Africa and the Caribbean, we're not being taught about the levels of our own land. You know what I'm saying? But these people are being taught about our land so they can come and expropriate our resources.
Exactly.
That reality. So my point is, that we can't afford to even get caught up in the distraction about flat or Earth
There we go.
or round Earth.
Oh,
we can't
it's so
afford to do that.
important, guys, so
yeah,
important.
you get
Nah,
me?
it's not, it's a waste
not
of
changed
time.
because
You know-
the reality of our life and our existence on this planet is not changing because of it.
Nah, it's
No,
a waste
I'm
of
not
time,
saying
bro.
that.
It's a waste of time.
What I'm saying is
It's that
we
simple,
can't
waste of
afford to
time.
get caught up in distraction. My main priority is to get African people to know the value of our own land and resources, so that we can't be exploited by these people.
So why are these
That's the
sorry,
reality.
so
And that applies in a round universe or a flat universe.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Why are most third world countries in Africa and other places, why are they selling 80% of their food to the West to feed animals?
Because of a system
IMF.
called colonialism,
IMF.
of
Paying
which
back debts.
of which the IMF is a part.
Yes.
Yeah, and this goes into things like World War II and then kind of things there. So like we go to the cinema all the time and watch these comic book films, yeah, and
It's
they
propaganda.
constantly reinforce
And that's
the
creating your
history
perception,
of
yeah.
World War
Yeah.
II, yeah, after which resulted in the creation of a lot of these institutions, plus the IMF, the World Bank,
Exactly.
the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, the World Health Organization, all of them, which are controlling world economics, health, and them kind of things there for the benefit of Europe.
Yeah.
That's a reality.
There we go.
Yeah?
And-
That is a
yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that it's the control of world economics that allows them to put in place systems of social human organization, which means that they can come into your country and tell you not to grow your own food. We're gonna give you this seed and that seed and the Monsanto, and the
Have you
and the
heard of
whatever,
Codex
right? And all that
Alimentarius?
kind of thing. But I'm saying that,
You heard of
yeah,
that?
all of that.
Yeah.
But all of that,
Yeah.
Codex and all of that applies in a round Earth or a flat Earth.
Yes,
It's not dependent upon a flat Earth or a round Earth. It's not dependent upon them convincing us that the Earth is round. Yeah, it's about them convincing us that European civilization is superior to all civilizations on the planet.
yeah.
That's what it's about. It's European supremacy that is being pushed through these
So
things.
you don't think that if the majority of the population suddenly, research this, and the majority realize they're living on a stationary level plane, things would change. Things would change.
I'm saying
we
that
wouldn't have those systems.
I'm saying
in
that
place.
change is not dependent upon
It
us
would change because
accepting that theory.
perception and people's understanding. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but the shift of consciousness that we need.
Yes.
Living on a flat Earth would change the
would basically
international
change
monetary
people
system.
want
It
yes,
won't.
yes.
The same people are gonna. If everybody is convinced, let's say the government itself said, you know what,
Well, how would that
man was wrong, you know, fam.
The whole
the Earth
system
is
would
flat. It
change.
ain't gonna
How
change
would
nothing.
it change?
Not change nothing.
It's the education.
It don't. No, but it's not gonna change.
Okay, it would
it's
change,
not
okay.
gonna change the existence of the International
Okay,
Monetary
change
Fund.
the education
it's not gonna change
system.
the World Bank.
Change the perception of the population.
The-
change reality. Three
changing the
steps.
education system
You're
on the
less
on the basis
trusting
of the
now.
flat Earth
Do you have a
theory
bank
is
account?
not going to change
Do you
the
have
cultural
credit cards? So
supremacy
why have you
that is
got
pushed
this?
through.
Best of all evils, my
Why
friend.
did you
That's
not
the
stop?
reality.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go all cash? Are you
That's
still-
the reality.
It's the least of all.
From your man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to
So we don't
ITV.
no more distractions right here. But fun distractions. You get me?
So, guys, I understand you're talking from a tech side. I think technology can help us. It can actually put us into a simpler, more refined system. And technology can do that.
I think you should learn technology. And this is hold on, bro, for a family.
Hang on,
One
let's
family.
quiet.
I think this is something you have to identify to me, but I take it that there is some challenges when you try to give this information to the public, right?
Yeah.
You can do it through technology, though.
But I'm saying for you, I think for me,